The JLP's Fayval Williams has blasted the PNP's Anthony Hylton for what she says has been his poor representation of Western St. Andrew. Williams, who is also the finance minister, took Hylton to task as she endorsed Corey Dunkley as the JLP's caretaker in the seat. She says a quick internet search tells a story of Hylton's representation.
It will tell you that Anthony Hylton was elected Member of Parliament for the PNP, and during his tenure, he has been a cabinet minister. That same Wikipedia will tell you, and I take no pleasure in saying it because it's people who live in St. Andrew Western, but Wikipedia says the PNP MP Hylton oversees one of the most run-down constituency in the country.
Mrs. Williams says the time has come for a change in the traditionally safe PNP seat.
I say to you, if you look at their history, PNP history in St. Andrew Western, they have not shown much development here. And so I say to all the PNP voters in St. Andrew Western, time come for a switch to the Jamaica Labour Party. It's been too long for the PNP to sit and continue to hope for development with a PNP MP. Time come to vote JLP in St. Andrew Western.
Fayval Williams, the finance minister. Anthony Hylton has represented Western St. Andrew since 2007. He previously represented Western St. Thomas in the Parliament. Hylton will be seeking his fifth term in West St. Andrew when he contests the general election later this year. Public sector workers are set to benefit from a boost in their basic salaries. The Finance Minister, Fayval Williams, has announced that eligible employees will receive up to 3 increments in their substantive salary scales for the 2025-26 financial year. In a statement today, the Minister says this amounts to an approximate 7.5% increase. The Minister says they're also moving to ensure all long-awaited increment payments for workers are met before the end of June. Siobhan Campbell tells us more.
Some union groups, such as teachers and healthcare workers, have grown restive over concerns that the Finance Ministry will not meet the June deadline in dispersing payments in salary increments. The June date was stipulated in an agreement with the Jamaica Confederation of Trade Unions, JCTU. With the deadline fast approaching, President of the Jamaica Civil Service Association, Tesher Clark Griffiths, last week called for healthcare workers to be notified in advance if there will be further delays.
It is always at the last minute that they send out something to the workers. If it is that there are some challenges, they need to communicate with the worker representative about those challenges. And it is not on their time. They are given a specific time frame in which to pay. They need to pay the workers their money. The deadline for payment is the 30th of June. They still have another couple of days to go.
In a response on Monday, Minister Fayval Williams noted that some ministries, departments, and agencies have already begun disbursing the increases, while others are working to complete payments by the end of June. Under the new system, public sector employees will receive up to 3 increments in their prospective salary bands for the financial year. The minister says the development marks a significant shift from the previous system before 2022. Under that arrangement, before the public sector compensation overhaul, only a single increment per year was granted. This was contingent on achieving at least 75% on the performance management and appraisal system. Minister Williams stated that the new arrangement resulted from continued dialogue with the Jamaica Confederation of Trade Unions, JCTU. She says the adjustment is part of ongoing efforts to enhance the remuneration framework in a fair and fiscally sustainable way. She further affirmed that the ministry will maintain active engagement with unions and associations across the public sector to ensure continued improvement of the compensation structure, emphasizing fairness, transparency, and fiscal responsibility. Siobhan Campbell for Nationwide News.
Opposition spokesman on national security Senator Peter Bunting is calling for an independent sentencing commission to support legislators in setting penalties for serious crimes such as murders. Mr. Bunting says this would keep the country in line with modern globally accepted trends.
But going forward, I think the Parliament might consider the establishment of an independent sentencing commission, as other countries have, that can guide Parliament and policymakers with evidence-based recommendations, and to ensure that our laws keep pace with fairness, proportionality, and modern penal philosophy. It can examine safety valve provisions, enabling judges to depart from the mandatory minimum where the offender played a minor role, acted under duress, or shows clear potential for rehabilitation.
Senator Bunting made the recommendation during his contribution to the debate on mandatory minimum penalties for murder in the Senate on Friday. Under the new legislation, the mandatory minimum penalty proposed for non-capital murder is 30 years. Where the offense committed is capital murder, the term of years to be deemed as life imprisonment will move from 30 years to 50. While not entirely opposed to mandatory minimum penalties, Senator Bunting called for more to be done to curb crime through social interventions.
And above all, we need to stop pretending that sentencing alone can fix what is broken. We must invest in community-based diversion programs, youth rehabilitation, skills training, and restorative justice. We must address the root causes of crime, not just its symptoms. A just society is not one where the poor are punished swiftly and severely, while the privileged walk free. A just society is one where punishment fits not just the crime, but the circumstances, the offender, and the greater good.
Peter Bunting, opposition spokesman on national security. The Trinidad and Tobago police arrested a Dominican Republic woman on Sunday after she attempted to hide an assault rifle in her baby's crib. In an operation spearheaded by officers of the gang unit, the police raided a house when they found the 33-year-old woman. At the time, the woman had her baby with her, but police said while she was holding the child, the woman was seen hurriedly trying to stuff a heavy metal object beneath a mattress in the crib. When officers turned over the mattress, they found a black and silver AR-15 with a fully loaded magazine. Officers also found 100 rounds of 5.5 ammunition in the house. The woman was subsequently arrested. She's yet to be charged.
The United States has confirmed that no casualties were reported in Iran's missile strike on its military base in Qatar. Iran launched missiles at the U.S. airbase in response to strikes on its nuclear sites on Saturday. Iran said it targeted the base because it was outside of populated areas. Qatar called the missile attack a flagrant violation, adding that all the missiles were intercepted. Qatar noted that it reserved the right to respond directly. In Washington, Donald Trump and defense officials held a Situation Room meeting 2 days after the U.S. launched massive strikes against 3 nuclear facilities inside Iran. Trump said Iran warned the U.S. before its missile strike. He also expressed hope that the missiles would be the end of Iranian retaliation for U.S. strikes on their nuclear sites.
Murders and shootings continue to show significant decline across the island. The latest data published by the Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF, show that murders are down by 43% up to Saturday, June 21. 322 homicides had been committed. That's 244 fewer than the 566 murders recorded in the corresponding period last year. In the same period, shootings also saw a major decline. The JCF says shootings declined by 33%, coming in at 345 up to June 21. St. James took the top spot with the highest drop in murders and shootings. According to the force, the division recorded 47 fewer murders than the 73 committed in the period last year. In relation to shootings, St. James had 41 fewer incidents than the 67 recorded up to June 21 last year. Meanwhile, rapes are down by 29%. However, the JCF says break-ins have increased by 22%. Robberies have also increased by 3%.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness is commending the St. Thomas Police Division for achieving a 63% clear-up rate for murders. The Prime Minister received a report from Operations Officer in St. Thomas, Assistant Superintendent Leonard Kinlock, during a field visit last Thursday. ASP Kinlock reported that while the number of murders, shootings and rapes has increased by 1 compared to last year, the overall trend in accusatory crimes is moving in the positive direction. He further noted that the division has been able to curb an increase in migrant criminals thanks to intensified police operations. ACP Kinloch highlighted a recent operation that resulted in 4 wanted men being apprehended. He noted that 2 of the men were from St. James. The Prime Minister praised the reduced numbers as a significant accomplishment for the division.